Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to Be With Me, 7 minutes of biblical astonishment. It is the 163rd day of the virus, and we are in Matthew chapter 15 on a chronological walk through the Bible. And the section we get to today has 3 verses, and shame on me, I was going to skip it. And teaching point number 1 is sometimes the greatest sections are little stuff. So yesterday in episode 162, we looked at a woman who was willing to take the crumbs from Jesus's table as the bread of life because she was a Gentile and not part of the big chosen people. Well, today, Jesus likely goes to a Gentile area and demonstrates himself. And this is from Matthew chapter 15, verse 29 through 31, 3 verses. First verse, Jesus went on from there and walked by the Sea of Galilee. And he went up on the mountain and sat down there. And great crowds came to him, bringing with them the lame, the blind, the crippled, the mute, and many others. And they put them at his feet, and he healed them. So that the crowd wondered when they saw the mute speaking, the crippled healthy, the lame walking, and the blind seeing, and they glorified the God of Israel. So first thing I would just like to mention is these are all sit-down miracles of Jesus. Jesus went on from there and walked by the Sea of Galilee, and he went up on the mountain and he sat down. So these are just, it just demonstrates the Lord's reserve and power, as well as his compassion, which is also a big theme. Okay, so verse 30 is the one I really want to focus on today. And great crowds came to him. Well, no kidding. Who wouldn't go see Jesus? Believing, not believing. But here's the part that caught my eye today. They didn't come alone. It was like they were invited with a +1. So we have to think about who was their +1s when they came. So who did they bring with them? Well, we find out. Bringing with them the lame, the blind, the crippled, the mute, and a big category, many others. So I was wondering if we were invited or knew Jesus was coming, who would be our +1? So this is kind of heading towards a personal prayer and personal consideration. So that's the way I would like you to start thinking about this. Okay, so the lame, and I was wondering about the lame versus the crippled. The lame, maybe those are people that had good function and then don't have good function. So something was working and now something is not knowing. So who do we know? Maybe there's somebody that had something that was working, could be physically, could be spiritually, and now it's not working. Versus a crippled who was just broken from the beginning in this particular area. Or maybe a blind person. Vision, someone literally blind that we know, or someone that's losing their vision as they age. Or maybe it's a figurative blindness. They just can't see something that just seems so clear to you and other people. Or maybe someone with mute, someone with a speech problem, with voice, or with their tongue, or with the wrath of their tongue or something. Who would your heart go out to and say, man, I'm going to bring this person with me to the sitting Jesus because he's got this. And then the cool thing is what do they do with these things? Well, they're not things. They're actually people. You know, they don't bring a broken bicycle. They don't bring a broken toaster. They bring, you know, one thing. Who is it? What's the thing? What's your thing? So that's who do you bring today? And then what do you do with them? They put them at his feet. So they bring them to Jesus, number one. Number two, they put them at his feet in trust and in hope and in wonderment. And then Jesus does his thing. I don't mean to minimize it. And he healed them. And then back to the people then, verse 31. So that the crowd wondered. And they're not wondering, you know, will it rain and where's that address? They're wondering, who can fix this? Who can change a heart? Who can cause forgiveness? Big stuff. Who can fix the rebellion of people or a person or as we see here, physically broken people? Who can do this? It's a great wonderment. And then they glorified the God of Israel. So I was thinking about the title of this podcast, Be With Me, and that's what these people did. They went to be with Jesus. They brought somebody with them. And then the subtitle is 7 Minutes of Biblical Astonishment, then that's what happened. They went to Jesus. They were with him for a while. He did his thing, which was glorious and miraculous, and only he can do it. Here in a physical way, other days in spiritual ways. And then they respond. They respond in wonder, and they respond in glory. They glorified the God of Israel. They saw his glory, appreciated it, and hence glorified the God of Israel. So the questions today is, who do you bring with you? Who's on your heart today as you listen to this? Or maybe what broken part of you do you limp into Jesus with? And then what are we going to do with it? Do we put it at Jesus' feet in faith? And then what do we do afterwards? Do we leave with a sense of awe and wonderment and then appreciate God in a glorifying sort of way? So I would pay attention today to who came to your mind, or what part of you, what broken part of you came to your mind as you come to Jesus, ask him to help you, and then glorify him when it's over. Amen.